Welcome to the online instructor orientation course prep tasks. The first thing I want to show you is this role switch widget on the course homepage. You can switch between the instructor role and a student role, and if you're in the student role, you see the same thing that a student would see in the class. But for now, we're going to switch to the instructor role, and let's take a look at what we have in the course. So there's a welcome news item that introduces you to the course and talks about what the course is about. It's signed by Robert. Robert Redford was the previous instructor for this course. And it doesn't really tell you what to do next, how to get started, which can be confusing for the student. So that's something that we're going to want to fix. Let's take a look at what content there is in the course. And I'm going to click on Table of Contents so I can see sort of all the resources in the course. And the first thing we notice is that there's a Prep Your Course module, which includes the OIO takeover tasks and also includes an instructor guide for teaching this course that we're in. So this is obviously something that we wouldn't want the student to be able to see. There's a course information module, which has the usual stuff: course information overview, instructor information, syllabus, course calendar. There's a discussion board for introducing yourself, a discussion board for question and answers. There's an intro quiz, but it's currently a draft, which means that the student can't see it. There's some citations for the course. And then we have a module with some learning activities. So there's some lecture materials, there's a discussion board, a quiz, an assignment with a Dropbox where you're going to be uploading, and a conclusion. And then in Module 2, we have another intro, some notes. There's some learning materials, some copyright scenarios, and then just the conclusion. So it seems like there's probably some stuff missing from this module. And then there's a draft module called How to Use the Template. So draft modules are not visible to the student. So this is a great place to put materials that you're in the process of developing, or materials that you want to use in a face-to-face class that you don't necessarily want to release to the students online. There's a number of reasons why you might want to keep a draft module in your course. Now, the other thing that's missing here is that all of our courses are supposed to have an intro to online learning that walks the student through how to take an online course. And that's a standard part of most courses, but it's not in this course, so we're going to need to fix that as well. Moving on to the discussions group, we see that there's an introduce yourself discussion, and once again it's referring to the previous instructor's name, so we're going to need to fix that. There's a discussion board for a new activity. So new are things that you already knew about copyright law, and new are things that are new to you about copyright law. And there's a copyright scenarios activity. Looking at the drop boxes, we see that there are 2 assignments that the students will do over the term, one on writing a letter about copyright resources and one about copyright scenarios. 2 quizzes in the course, one which is currently inactive, which is the intro quiz, and one which is active but has the wrong dates associated with it. On the Grades tab, we can see all of the items that are currently in the grade book. So right now we have the quiz, we have a letter assignment, we have a scenarios document, and a scenarios discussion. We can also look at the association between these grade items and actual learning resources. So we see that quiz is linked to a quiz. The letter is linked to a Dropbox, but then this scenarios document isn't linked to anything, so it needs to be in the Dropbox. And this scenarios discussion isn't linked to anything, it needs to be linked to a discussion. And there are also some additional assessments that we want to include in this course. So we're going to want to include an assessment for the intro discussion so that students actually do it. And we're also going to want to include an assessment for the professional competence. So that's basically what we're starting out with. So let's get started in the next videos.